Welcome to another edition of the Pastor's Motivational Corner. I'm sure you, like me, at some point would have visited the supermarket only to be greeted by empty shelves. Things like rice and flour and sugar and other basic necessities that you typically would have grabbed from the shelf went missing. They went missing because people, fearful of the future, were buying much more than they needed. And in so doing, others were deprived of some of the basic necessities. You see, folks, in crisis, most times we often think only of ourselves, our family, our survival. And we forget that there are others who are depending on some of the basic necessities like we do. People were choosing to stockpile on food, much to the detriment of others. I wonder how many people have food in their houses now that they don't need, while others are still waiting and languishing because they do not have. That's the world in which we are living in. It's a world where others look first for their survival and then for others. You know, I'm reminded today that the God we serve is a God who gives us generously. One of the things that I want us to start stockpiling on is that of goodness. Galatians 5:22 said the fruit of the Spirit is goodness. Another word for goodness, transliterated from the Greek, can be generosity. You know, when I think about how generous God is to us, God gives us so much. Starting from creation, He gave us life. Then He gave us redemption. He brought us salvation. He sent us salvation through His very own Son. Then He gave us the gift of the Holy Spirit. He not only gave us the Holy Spirit, but He gave us the fruit of the Spirit. And then, of course, He gives us so much blessings. Talk about the food we eat every day. Talk about the clothing on our backs. Talk about the houses we live in. Talk about the breath of life. In fact, the very heart of God is filled with generosity. He doesn't take things for Himself. He gives us so much more. In fact, Ephesians chapter 1 verses 7 to 9 says that God lavishes on us redemption, forgiveness, grace. He gives us those things in copious measures. I wonder what this world would be like if God was not generous with us. Well, folks, one of the things that the world is lacking today is that of generosity. Bestowing things on others liberally. Not giving them things we don't want and things we would not use or food we would not eat, but giving people from the depths of our hearts. I wish that during this time of crisis that we would think about that other person who does not have and not give them because we do not want what we're giving them, but give them the very things that we need ourselves. This world will be a much better world if we can be a little bit more generous, if we can stockpile on generosity. I believe today that there are so many people in this world who are in need. There are so many vulnerable people who cannot get what we have, and they are depending on us to be generous. So why not extend a hand of generosity to somebody? Why not give someone some of that which you have stockpiled on, hoping that things would have run out, but recognizing that if only we exercise a bit of prudence and consideration in what we were doing, that things would have been available for everyone to have just enough to get by. You see, folks, generosity is something that makes the heart extend itself to the other. Generosity is something that allows us to reach beyond ourselves and give to others, not because we do not want what we're giving, but because we are concerned about their well-being as much as ours. I wish today that someone would reach into what you have and give out to someone that which you have. Give someone some of that which you have taken, and let them know that you're giving them because you are concerned and that you care for them. You are giving them because Jesus has given to you. He has given you life. He has given you blessings. He has given you all that you need. And indeed, in return, He wants us to give back to others. I believe today, folks, that rather than stockpiling on food and all the daily necessities, start stockpiling on generosity. Things that money cannot buy, but things which will certainly make the world a better place. Why not today start storing up on a generous spirit?